Pinag-uusapan ngayon sa social media ang umano'y pagpapasuko ng di umano'y lihim na anak ni Atong Ang. Ayon sa balita, nakiusap umano ang anak ni Atong na sumuko na ito sa kapulisan at harapin ang mga kasalanan ginawa nito. Kung wala naman umanong katotohanan ang mga paratang dito, mas mabuti daw na harapin nito ang kinauukulan upang malinis ang kanyang pangalan. Ayon naman sa kampo ni Atong, nakahanda silang harapin kahit ano pa ang reklamo sa negosyante. Sa ngayon daw ay hinihintay pa nila ang resulta ng forensics examination sa mga na-recover na buto sa Taal Lake. Samantala, narito naman ang video kung saan halos maiyak nga ang anak ni Atong sa salaysay ng mga naiwan ng biktima.
General Pero, I would like to thank you kahit na you are only 6 days away from your retirement. Still hindi mo binibitawan itong kaso ng Isabong 31. Maraming salamat in behalf of the families and in behalf of the Filipino nation. Thank you sa patuloy mong pag-imbestiga. So go ahead, Colonel Abirin.
Mr. Chair, sir, and other members of the distinguished members of the legislators, allow me to...
Excuse me, Colonel Abirin.
Yes.
May harang naman kayo dyan. Tanggalin mo muna yung para marinig ka.
Thank you, sir.
Go ahead.
Allow me to present the ongoing and continuous investigation being conducted by the CIDG relative to the missing persons involved in Sabong and Isabong. Shown on the screen is the outline of my presentation. As the background of the case, on January 14, 2022, Binancio Inonog, Ernesto Bacay Sr., and Mario Velasco Jr. personally appeared before the Manila CIDG and lodged a complaint on the alleged abduction of 6 male persons, all of which are relatives of the complainants who were residents of Barangay Sampaloc, Tanay Rizal, and one from Tondo, Manila. Accordingly, on January 13, 2022, at about 1 p.m., James Bacay and his cockfighting buddies went to Manila Arena on board a white Toyota Tamaraw FX with plate number UGE 368 to join a 6 stag derby. At about 7:45 p.m. of the same date, Mr. Binancio Inonog phoned his son, John Cloud, about his car rental schedule. However, the latter disclosed that they are being held against their will inside a van within the vicinity of the said arena. Since then, the relatives have not been receiving communications from the 6 missing persons to this date. As shown on the screen are the details of the 6 missing personalities. The CIDG Manila DFU conducted investigation and requested from the management of the Manila Arena the videos, logbook of duty guards, contact tracing list, list of duty personnel, copies of vehicle pass slip, gate pass, and copy of the CCTV footages. However, our investigators failed to acquire one. In lieu of the CCTV footage requested from Manila Arena, investigators scoured the nearby areas for a possible presence of CCTV. Hence, investigators opted to look for other CCTV installed in the nearby areas of the said arena. On the other hand, on January 14, 2022, a white Tamaraw FX with plate number UGE 368 was reportedly abandoned in Sitio Waray, Barangay Plaza Aldea, Tanay Rizal. During the follow-up operation, it was found out that the said vehicle is the same vehicle utilized by the victims in going to Manila Arena. The discovery gave a hint to the investigators to backtrack the possible routes of the alleged abductors. Shown are the routes of the vehicles used by the suspects and the victims. From Manila Arena, it was observed that a convoy of vehicles composed of a black van, followed by a white van, gray sedan, and silver Toyota Wigo, consecutively turned left, going to the direction of Pedro Hill in Santa Ana, Manila. Minutes later, it was observed that the black van white van, and Toyota Wigo executed left turn going to the direction of Heron Street in Santa Ana, Manila, then right turn to Sobel Rojas Street, and then turned left to Osmeña Highway. While the white Toyota Tamaraw FX and gray sedan continued traversing along Pedro Hill Street in Santa Ana, Manila, then executed a right turn to Quirino Avenue, then made a U-turn to Osmeña Highway heading southbound direction. Unfortunately, after Osmeña Highway, investigators discovered that existing and/or available CCTV footages were either overwritten or deleted already. Upon review of the routes taken by the subject vehicles, the CIDG investigators were able to acquire the following CCTV footages. On the first video, one unidentified male person wearing bull cap, jacket, and long pants went across the street from Manila Arena. After a few seconds, said person boarded the silver Toyota Wigo and waited for the convoy of other vehicles that left the arena, which were believed to be where the suspect and the victims are on board. As you can see, the convoy of vehicles were composed of black van, followed by silver Toyota Wigo, white van, white Toyota FX, and gray sedan, and traversed Pedro Hill Street going to the direction of Osmeña Highway. It can be observed on the video that the said vehicles are already in a convoy from Manila Arena up to the corner of Tejeron Street in Santa Ana, Manila. On the third video, it was observed that the earlier mentioned convoy of silver Toyota Wigo, followed by the black van and the white van, turned left to the Tejeron Street, while the other part of the convoy, the white Toyota FX and gray sedan, continued traversing along Pedro Hill Street, heading to southbound direction. On the fourth video, the identified male person wearing a bull cap, jacket, and long pants with a sling bag alighted from the front passenger seat of the Toyota Tamaraw FX. The said vehicle was believed to be the same vehicle utilized by the victims when they joined the Six Stag Derby in Manila Arena on January 13, 2022. On the fifth video, it was observed that the earlier unidentified male person wearing a bull cap, jacket, and long pants with a sling bag who alighted from the front passenger seat of a white Toyota Tamaraw FX was the same person who then boarded the gray sedan that came along Osmeña Highway heading to southbound direction. During the course of our investigation on the incident of the alleged abduction of cockfighting aficionados, it was found out that another case of missing persons was reported in Santa Cruz, Laguna. Shown on the screen are the persons who were reported missing on January 13, 2022 in Santa Cruz, Laguna. They also attended a Six Stag Derby at United Association of Cockpit Owners and operators of the Philippines Incorporated in Barangay Palasan, Santa Cruz, Laguna.
Excuse me. Balik muna tayo doon sa case number 1, ha? Yung number 1, may nakuha ka bang CCTV doon sa loob ng Manila Arena? Footages sa loob? Naghingi ba kayo doon sa management ng Manila Arena ng footages?
The investigators of Manila DFU, sir, requested CCTV footages and other documents na pwedeng makatulong, sir. However, they failed to acquire one because, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Wait, sir.
GPNP and Director Albert Pero. Nabasa niyo ba yung RA 10973? Binigyan namin kayo ng subpoena powers. Issue subpoena and subpoena duces tecum. Ayaw nilang mag-hit sa request ninyo. Why did you not issue subpoena and subpoena duces tecum to the management of Manila Arena? You can compel them. If they don't comply, you can go to the court and have them cited for indirect contempt. Hindi nyo ba alam yun?
Mr. Chair, we issued subpoena dosis tecum and as
Yes.
candom.
So they still did not comply.
Yes.
So what did you do next?
What I did when I was instructed by our GPNP, Mr. Chair, is that I on February 1, I went personally to Manila Arena and I was able to
Excuse me, tanggalin mo.
get an audience with Mr. Atongang, and we're able to talk, and he gave me the cooperation that we were asking for the people that could.
Were you able to get the CCTV footages?
Yes, sir. According to to Mr. Ang, that there was no CCTV during that date, and they are going to install after maybe at the end of January. And
Wala o defective?
they told me, sir, that they were not able yet to install. They did not yet install it, and they will be installing it because according to them, yung level IATF level ng COVID was intermittent in a sense that hindi talaga sila continuously nagpapalaro ng sabong doon, sir, sa Manila Arena.
You could have compelled them to submit kasi may subpoena powers na kayo.
Yes, sir.
Excuse me. General Pero, sabi nila wala silang CCTV na naka-install during that incident?
That was what I get from Mr. Ang, sir.
Oh, Pagcor, di ba requirement ninyo ito bago kayo mag-issue ng license na the vicinity of the arena should be covered with complete CCTV? Eh bakit walang CCTV yon? So dapat automatic tinanggalan yung license ng Manila Arena kung ganun. Wala pa lang CCTV na nakalagay, na-install.
Mr. Chair, for the licensing of the cockpits, it's with the local government unit, Mr. Chair.
Nakalagay yan doon sa kuan ninyo sa requirements yung conditions ninyo before kayo mag-issue ng permit nitong license nitong sabong operators na dapat yung establishmento nila kung saan sila nagsasabong ay covered. Ito, minimum surveillance system and coverage requirements. Number 1, PAGCOR has mandated for all gaming sites to have a CCTV system where it will serve as a deterrent for anomalous activities in the site. Nagtitix na nga yung biktima sa kanyang tatay na we are pinick up kami. Nilagay kami sa gray van dito sa loob ng Manila Arena. So that's very anomalous. This is done, number 2, this is done for proactive security monitoring which will be standardized across all sites. At least 4 CCTV cameras shall be allocated within gaming site premises. Additional number of CCTV cameras may be required depending on the approved gaming site layout to ensure there are no blind spots. So dapat hindi na masabi nito na hindi na cover yan ng aming CCTV set dahil blind spot. Walang blind spot ito. And it is your responsibility to make sure na ito'y na-comply. CCTV cameras must be operational 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, regardless of gaming site operating hour. Ang daming requirements na nire-require ninyo dito sa bago kayo magbigay ng license sa isang e-sabong operator. Bakit walang sinasabi nila na walang silang CCTV?
Mr. Chair, the gaming site po contemplated in our regulatory framework does not include po cockpits po because the licensing of the cockpits is with the local government unit, Mr. Chair.
Ito, basahin ko sa iyo Section 3 of PAGCOR Regulatory Framework for e-sabong off-cockpit betting station. Section 3, Security, Surveillance, and Records. Minimum security requirements. The gaming site must have at least one security guard, so on and so forth. Hanggang dumating dito, PAGCOR has mandated for all gaming sites to have a CCTV system. Sa inyo ito yun. Bakit mo ipapasa sa local government na nakalagay ito dito?
Mr. Chair, if I may be allowed to clarify.
Ano?
If I may be allowed to clarify, Mr. Chair.
Chairman,
Go ahead.
a very simple question. Do we want to solve this case or cases or not?
We want to,
Eh, huwag
Mr.
tayo magturuan kung gusto niyo masolve. Instead of helping, you're giving us excuses. You're finger pointing.
I would like to clarify, Mr. Chair, our framework, if I may be allowed.
Yeah, go ahead. Please.
The framework, the Honorable Chairman just quoted po, is for our off-cockpit betting station. That is different po from the cockpit arena. We understand, Mr. Chair, that we have a requirement of placing CCTVs in this off-cockpit betting station. Ito po ang mga tayaan, which is different po from the cockpit arena, kung saan po nagaganap ang mga cockfights.
Bakit yung off-cockpit ni-require nyo ganito, tapos yung arena mismo walang ganito requirement? Ano to? Bakit? Hindi ba magkakaroon ng anomalous transaction doon sa arena mismo? Di ba? Doon nga nangyayari yung QPN na sinasabi ninyo. Nagkakaroon ng QPN doon mismo sa kuwan. Dapat ni-require niyo ito doon.
We understand, Mr. Chair, but again po, I would just like to clarify that the jurisdiction po of PAGCOR is only on the betting po, and yung sa CCTV requirement po that was just quoted is for our off-cockpit betting stations po, and not for the cockpit arena, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Whatever your explanation is, but I just would like to klaruhin ko lang ito sa PNP na yung rason na sinasabing wala silang nailagay na CCTV during the incident, after the incident, saka pa sila naglagay ng CCTVs, napakahinang alibay para sa akin. I must tell you frankly. Go ahead, sir.
You should, General Pero, you should also check with the Manila Business Permits and License Office. Okay ba sa kanila? Yung mga ganong cockpit? Hindi nagko-comply? Should get in touch with them.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Senator Tolentino.
Station here. Everything emanates from the gross misrepresentation of PAGCOR as to how Republic Act 9487 should operate, as well as their overbroad interpretation of their own regulatory framework, which was not given to them in the first place by Republic Act 9487. So sila na po yung nag-extend ng kapangyarihan nila, sila pa ho yung nagbigay sa sarili nila ng kapangyarihan i-interpret yung kapangyarihang iginawad nila sa kanilang sarili. Ito po yung pinag-uusapan po ngayon na kailangan ba ang CCTV doon lamang sa parang off-track doon sa betting station, o kailangan din po ba doon sa kung saan nagaganap yung physical na sabong. So all of this, Mr. Chairman, emanated from their broad interpretation of their authority granted to them by their own self, Mr. Chairman. Ito po yung nakikita kong pinag-ugatan nito na ang sinasabi nila ngayon ay galing din naman doon sa mga opinion ng Department of Justice at Office of the Solicitor General na wala sa ating batas. Salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. I agree with you, Senator Tolentino. So, we are still in case number 1, ha? Please respond. Tapos na yung PNP, respond, Atty. Santos from Lucky 8-Star Quest Incorporated. President.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, and to the members of the Honorable Committee, to our guest. A short statement from Lucky 8-Star Quest Incorporated. Lucky 8-Star Quest Inc. decries recent incidents of alleged disappearances among members of the cockfighting industry and is taking steps to ensure that its process and operations are fully compliant with the law and mutually beneficial to all stakeholders of its businesses. Based on our initial appreciation of reports, it is speculated by some that these disappearances may involve allegations of game fixing. While we continue our own fact-finding on this matter and are deeply concerned about the safety of all stakeholders, we wish to clarify the following for the public. First, the company is not part to any betting transactions in the matches it broadcasts or facilitates, and is thus not directly interested or invested in the results of the matches. As such, the company is indifferent to who wins or loses the match. Second, the company is primarily engaged in broadcasting, live streaming, and aggregation of wagers on matches. The company, in other words, merely is a service provider, a bridge between bettors and those who can provide the necessary materials for the matches. Third, the company has no direct connection with employees of the breeders or financiers of fighting cocks. Any dispute between such breeders or financiers and their employees or workers is beyond the company's purview. Any dispute between one bettor or another is also beyond the company's capacity to resolve, unless the dispute directly involves the company's system. Nonetheless, the company acknowledges its capacity to work with authorities to take active steps to address ongoing questions on the matter. We are committed to reviewing and strengthening our accreditation process for agents, breeders, and other stakeholders of the company to ensure that only those who are faithful to the law will play roles in our operations. We welcome suggestions from the authorities on how best the company can perform this task more effectively. We are also committed to working with the Games and Amusement Board to fight game fixing, which is alleged to be the cause of what some police authorities believe to be disputes among Sabongeros that could have led to the disappearances. The GAB accredits handlers, sentenciadores, and other key workers in Sabong. And finally, we will continue to advocate for fair, legal, and responsible gaming, especially in the cockfighting sector, a sport that is deeply embedded in the Filipino culture. Again, we decry the violence and unfair practices that tarnish the good name of Filipino Sabongeros, the overwhelming majority of whom are fair, responsible, and productive members of the society.
Thank you, Atty. Santos. It says here on record that you also represent Manila Arena.
Just to clarify, Mr. Chairman, Manila Arena, the property in Manila Arena is registered under Royal Octodome Incorporated. And as of the present, Lucky 8 is presently leasing the entire property of Royal Octodome, including the Manila Arena. That is why the management and operation of the entire Manila Arena right now is under Lucky 8.
So under Lucky 8,
Yes.
sa inyo.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
You are the president.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Can you give the assurance to this committee that next hearing, madala mo yung mga duty guards during the time?
Yes,
Kasi
Mr. Chairman.
wala kayo CCTV na may ipakita, walang footage eh. So we will rely on testimonies coming from your
Yes.
guards.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I do confirm, Mr. Chairman, that last night I received a text from your committee secretary informing your request to bring the security guards who were in duty last January 13, 2022. Unfortunately, it was a late notice. There were no other relievers for the security guards who are already in duty at the time. But we commit, Mr. Chairman, on the next scheduled hearing to bring them with us.
Thank you. I just hope that you will cooperate fully in this investigation.
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Yung lahat.
Also, just to clarify, Mr. Chairman, we have we confirm having received the subpoena sent by the CIDG, and as a matter of fact, we have already appeared and have given our security guards testimony to them.
Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
LTO. Sir, nakikita ninyo yung mga sasakyan, di ba? Nakukuha ang mga plate number. Na-check na ba ninyo, sir?
We will coordinate with the PNP, Your Honor, regarding the specific plate numbers of identified in the report.
Again, kung mangingidnapin sila, hindi mo rin gagamit yan ng tamang plate number. Di ba?
Yes,
Most likely.
okay, but
Most likely.
we can see if there are conduction sticker also.
Sticker, o yan, pwede.
Conduction.
Conduct the sticker.
But we can do some profiling on the
PNP,
classification.
ready yung LTO to provide you the data. Naghingi na ba kayo? But anyway, okay na. So let's proceed with the family, the missing victims. Sino bang unang magsasalita sa inyo? Okay pala. Yung mga bagong dating, please mag-swear in muna kayo para ma-record. Please.
Thank you, sir. I-request ko po yung mga bagong dating, yung mga nakaupo po rito sa harapan ng at sa harapan ng mga saka ito po nasa gallery po para po tayong lahat na mag-swear. Tayo lang po tayo.
Yung mga bagong dating yan, yung hindi pa nakapag-swear kanina.
Bagong dating lang po. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this public hearing and investigation? Thank you very much. Please take seat.
Thank you, Kumsik. Sinong mauna sa inyo magsalita, ma'am, sir? Si the father of Jean-Claude Nugnog. Kung pwede, sir, pakitanggal lang yung kwan para marinig ka ng klaro.
Lalakasan ko na lang po, Mr. Chair, kasi medyo may mga pagilid-gilid na banta na po sa buhay namin eh. Hindi po kami makasiguro sa aming seguridad. Kung pwede po, cover ko lang po.
Okay, but pero dikit mo lang yung microphone, ha?
Opo.
Marinig ka. Please, you have the floor.
Una po sa lahat, nagpapasalamat kami sa bumubuo ng Senate Committee na to, especially kay Senator De La Rosa, kay Tito Sen, Senator Lacson, and Senator Tolentino po, at sa ibang senator na nakamonitor. Ang masyado pong bumabagabag sa akin, Senator, yung huling usap namin ng anak ko na binanggit niya. Tanong ko sa kanya, anak, nasaan ka na? Kasi may arkila po siya bukas ng umaga ng daling araw para sabihin sa kanya na umuwi ka ng maaga. Ang sabi po ng anak ko, nandito na ako sa Manila Arena. Bakit po isinasakay sila Kuya James? Ni ganito, ni ganyan. Pati po ako isinasakay. Kako sino yan? Sino yung mga yan?
Sandali, klaro mo yung ganyan, ni ganyan. Can you name names? Sabihin mo kung sino nagsakay sa kanila.
And medyo naano po ako dun sa mga sa mga pangalan. Pero matatandaan ko po ito, Senator, kasi ngayon lang po pumasok ulit sa isip ko yung conversation namin ng anak ko eh. So susunod, promise po, bibigay ko po sa inyo yung 3 pangalan na naalala ko na binanggit niya at nakuhaan ko po ng picture itong mga security na to on time noong January 30 ng gabi po.
When you say security ng saan?
Manila Arena po. Sa loob ng Manila Arena, nanggaling po, diretso po. Kasi nung 7:45 po naghuling namin pag-uusap.
So, for the record, sinabi ng anak mo yung mga 3 pangalan na
nabanggit na po yan, and then nung time na nandun na po ako, at nakipag-diskusyon ako dito sa mga security guard na to, nung una po matatapang sila sa akin dahil nag-iisa lang po ako eh. Nung dumating na po yung mga kasama ko, sila Mr. Bakay at saka sila Mr. Velasco, medyo nag-cool down po sila. Nagkaroon po ako ng pagkakataon kuhaan yung mga picture with yung mga taon to.
Chairman, question.
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Did you share this information to the police?
Yung pong...
Hindi. Yes or no? Na-share mo ba yung information na yun sa police?
Yes, sir.
So, alam nila yung mga pangalan.
Yung pangalan po, hindi ko pa po nabibigay, sir. Kasi ngayon lang po pumasok sa isip ko yung pangalan na binanggit sa akin ng anak ko nung nakita ko po yung some personal ring.
Hindi mo makalimutan, pwede bang lapitan mo si Jan Pero? Yan, sandali lang naman yan eh. Ibigay mo sa kanya yung mga pangalan.
Sige po.
O, siya na lalapit niya sa iyo, siya na lang. Ibigay mo na yung mga pangalan.
Pwede ka na, lumapit dito.
Sir Inonog, ito mga security guards doon sa Malina Arena.
Opo, Senator.
Okay, pakibigyan mo yung pangalan sa kanya.
Tayo mo yung microphone mo, baka marinig ng iba.
With your indulgence, Chairman. General Pero.
Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
General Pero, kunin mo na rin yung litrato, kinunan daw niya eh. Kunin mo na yung picture, kunin mo na yung litrato ng mga
Now,
tao.
Mr. Chairman, while nagdi-discuss sila doon,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
kung wala namang danger kay Mr. Inonog na i-share sa committee yung mga pangalan din at retrato, so we can issue also an invitation to the security guards through Attorney Santos.
Yes, sir. Precisely, sir. We will do that after.
Thank you.
Further question.
So I so move, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Inonog, paki-share mo na rin sa committee kasi pa-invite namin yung mga pangalan na binanggit mo sa susunod na pagdinig. You may or may not attend the next hearing or you may still attend with
Opo.
the same outfit.
Salamat po.
Okay, pwede mo na may share? Bigyan mo yung pangalan.
Ayun nga po, nung huling namin pag-uusap, 7:45 ng January 13 ng gabi. So may biglang umagaw ng telepono niya. Naririnig ko yung salita pa nung anak ko, yung salita ng mama. Sino to? Ang sagot sa akin ng anak ko, papa ko po yan. Then pinatay na yung telepono. Takbo na po ako doon. Siguro mga mag-alas 9 nakarating ako sa Manila Arena. Diretso
Alas
po
9
ako
ng
sa-
gabi. Gabi.
Alas 9 ng gabi po, ng same date ng January 13.
Saan ka galing?
Paranaque po.
Okay, go ahead.
Diretso po ako doon sa basement na kung saan doon ang loading and dropping point ng Manila Arena. May isang basement po doon. Yung unang security po, ang sumalubong sa akin, nangangatapang. Sabi ko, Brad, huwag kang matapang. Magulang ako nung pinuha ninyo mga tao, isa ako sa magulang. Pakisoli nyo lang kung anong problema pag-usapan natin. Pakisoli nyo lang, pakihabol nyo lang. And then, kung ano-ano na po. Pansin ko, outnumber ako, kausap ko si Mr. Bakay at si Mr. Velasco, pare, bumaba na kayo dito. May problema dito. Lumabas na po ako ng basement. Sinalubong po ako nung dalawang security pa po ng arena. Yung mga naka-jacket. And then yun ko lang po naalala yung mga pangalan na binanggit sa akin ng anak ko. Mabuti na lang po, nung time na yun, nakuhaan ko sila ng picture. Dahil nang dumating na po sila, yung mga kasama ko. January 13.
So, banggitin mo na ngayon for the record para i-require natin si Atty. Santos na bitbitin niya yung mga gwardiya niyan dito sa next hearing. Pangalan, please. Para ma-record natin.
Sana nga po, Attorney Santos, makarating yung mga tao nyo na hindi mawala.
Hindi mo na problema yan. Problema na ng committee yan dito. Kami na bahala niyan.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir.
I think this is sensitive. Here, in confidentiality with the committee. He mentions the names. Huwag naman sana, we might be endangering the security of the security guards. So mas maganda na lang siguro, Mr. Chairman, ibigay mo na lang sa chairman, sa secretary. Isulat mo na lang mas mamaya.
Opo, baka kawawa naman po yung tatlong security.
Hindi lang masyado malinaw sa amin yung sequence of events.
Opo.
Kanina yung from the time na tumawag yung anak mo sa iyo, tapos inagaw yung telepono, doon, umpisa mo nga doon.
Nung pong inagaw na nga yung telepono ng mama,
Samahan mo ng oras at saka mga ibang mga information na importante na.
yes, Your Honor. Noong January 13, 7:45 p.m., nung huli kami nag-usap ng anak ko, alarming na po yung salita niya dahil sabi niya, "Pa, bakit sinasakay sila Kuya James sa van? Pati ako, sinasakay ni ganito, ni ganyan, ganyan." Sabi ko, "Bakit? Anong problema?" Hindi ko alam pa eh. Biglang may umagaw po ng telepono, nagsalita yung mama na, "Sino to?" Narinig ko pa rin yung salita ng anak ko, "Papa ko po yan." Ang akin naman po, alam ko lang, Atty. Santos, yung anak ko po ang hanap buhay po doon sa event na yun, magpa-arkila po ng sasakyan. Tama ang FX. Hindi po yan nagsasabong. Hindi po yan nagsasabong, uulitin ko po sa inyo, Atty. Santos.
Yeah, excuse me, sir, please, you don't have to confront an
Hindi po.
resource person.
Sorry, Your Honor.
You address lahat na sasabihin mo sa akin.
Sorry, Your Honor.
Diretso doon. At,
Sentimento ko lang po.
for protocol, ha? Please.
Apo, sorry, Your Honor. Sentimento ko lang din po kay attorney. Wala naman po akong personal kahit sa inyo. Bilang magulang po, sana lahat po naintindihan ng sino ang magulang, yung sentimento namin na biktima. Yung tapos po na nag-usap. Diretso na po ako dun sa mga quarter to 9 ng January 13, diretso na po ako sa arena. Nakikiusap ako dun sa mga dinatnang ko security. Pakitawagan nyo lang ako yung kumuha sa mga bata. Mag-usapan natin. Anong kasalanan nila? Sinasabi nila, lumabas. Alam niyo, Your Honor, yung pong arena na yan, hindi ka po makakalabas dyan kung wala kang sinasabing may pass po sila dyan eh. Mayroon po silang binibigay na papel dyan para yan katunayan na wala kang problema sa loob, wala kang utang sa loob, bago ka po lumabas sa ilalim, sa basement, at doon sa main gate ng arena compound. May record in po yung sakyan ng anak ko na pumasok at naghatid doon sa loob ng building ng Manila Arena. Pero yung check-out po, paglabas, wala po silang binigay na record sa amin. Yun lang pong nakakalungkot. Kung ano man po yung binibintang nila na tsope-tsope. Huwag naman po sana maidamay yung taong walang kinalaman. Nakakaawa po yung mga bata.
Salamat, Mr. Rinonog. Meron lang ako itanong sa'yo. You may or may not answer this. May information ako na ikaw rin daw ay isang farm owner. Meron kang farm ng manok.
Opo, Your Honor.
Another information na kumita daw po kayo ng 200 million as payment sa mga manok mo na ginamit nung araw ng sabong bago ang kidnapping.
Hindi po ako yun, Your Honor. Yung sinasabi nilang persons of interest, yung Julius Havillo. Hindi po ako yun.
Hindi, pero meron kang
Wala po.
sariling farm na manok.
Meron po, Your Honor.
Ano pangalan nun?
Yung Julius Havillo po, yung sinasabi nilang una ng persons of interest, yun po yung may issue ng 200 million.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Pinpin, sana ito? Si DJ, sana ito si person of interest? Julius,
Yes, sir. We are still, he's part of our person. And because he's considered as also a missing person.
missing pa rin siya? Missing din siya?
Hindi namin siya, yung mga kamag-anak, sir, nilapitan na namin. Paano talaga.
Missing rin.
Yes, sir. Kaya taga-Pangasinan to, sir. Tandi namin yung Pangasinan talagang hindi mahanap.
Pamilya, kahit pamilya. Wala kayo napunta pamilya?
Hindi rin nila alam, sir. Pero patuloy pa rin yung paghahanap namin sa kanya.
Ano nga pangalan nun uli, Mr. Inonog? Yung sinasabi mong financier?
Julius Havillo po, Your Honor. Julius Havillo.
Julius Havillo.
Opo, Your Honor.
Kaya yung missing hanggang ngayon na
Sabi po missing, pero based po dun sa mga huli naming naririnig na report dun sa mga kamag-anak, nagtatago. Dahil hinahabol nga po, hinahanap siya para magpaliwanag.
So ganito, para magkakaroon kami ng teorya dyan sa nangyayari. Most likely kung yung anak mo at saka mga kasamahan niya ay pinick up dahil sa allegation na nanunyupi sa sabong, most likely itong financier nila, yun yung kumita sa panunyupi nila.
Clarification lang po, Your Honor. Hindi po namin naging financer yun.
Ano yun? Ano?
Hindi po, wala pong relation sa grupo po namin yun. Sa ano po siya? Grupo yun ng Santa Cruz yung nawala, yung victim po sa Santa Cruz. Yun po ang kanyang entry. Yung nawala sa Santa Cruz.
Mr. Chairman,
Okay, good. Yes, sir.
Again, Bert, Director Pero, si Mr. Nonog mentioned what appears to be a logbook. Can you also include that when you issued subpoena to SECOM na isabit yung logbook?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. So, okay ka na? Yung iba na naman. Next na naman. Sinong susunod? Pwede. Ikaw, ma'am, Mrs. Mother of James Bakay. Please, sabihin mo muna yung pangalan mo, ma'am, bago ka magsalita ng iba.
Ako po yung mother ni James at ni Marlon Bakay. Ako po si Isabelita Bakay na taga-barangay Sampaloc, Tanay Rizal. Yung pong dalawang anak ko, nawala po nung January 13 sa Manila Arena. May entry po yung anak ko doon na 6 stag sa Battle of the Big Boys. Na weekly po yun, may ganun. Nagpapasalamat po kami mga senator, sir, mga anditong PNP officers, dahil narinig nyo na rin kami at long last. Day 2, day 3 pa lang po, napunta kami sa mga CIDG, Krame, Station 6. That time, kasi nga po pandemic, halos walang umasikaso sa amin. Staycation na quarantine, sarado yung office. Kaya at the third day, walang man lang magsabi sa amin kung saan napunta yung mga anak namin, even doon po sa loob ng Manila Arena. Pero the fact na andoon nawala yung mga bata, doon po kami masakit ang loob namin. Ano po bang kasalanan? Anong nangyari? Sino kumuha? Saan dinala? Anong ginawa nila hanggang ngayon? Hindi namin alam. Dalawa po yung anak ko doon. Kaya nag-decide na po kaming magpamidya man lang makakakusan na tinapon nila. Napuntahan na po yan namin lahat ng kung ano man po yung kasalanan ng mga bata. Alam namin sa pulis dadalhin. Station 6, Station 5 within the Manila Arena. Nalipod po namin yan halos linggo-linggo't baka dun nga po dalhin. Wala po hanggang ngayon, wala. Yun nga po sabi ko noong kay Colonel Silvio, sir. Makita lang po yung CCTV sa loob. Okay, ayos na po yung kasong to. Hindi na po tayo aabot dito. Makipag-cooperate naman po kayo. Yun lang pong CCTV nandun. O, makikita na kung sino kumuha eh. Sino may utos nun. Alam naman namin na may makajus din kayong damdamin sa loob. Alam namin dapat justice will prevail po. Yan po, sir,
Mrs.
isolin nyo na lang.
Mrs. Yung dalawang anak mo, ano po ang trabaho nila?
Si James po, yan po yung nag-hunter
Handler ng manok.
ng manok.
Kaninong manok?
Kay Sir Inunog po.
Kay Inunog.
Opo.
Okay. Yung isa mong anak.
Anak ko, yung bunso ko yung Marlon, wala pong trabaho yon, nag-a-apply po yun sa AFP na sumama lang po dito sa kuya niya. First time po sumama dyan.
So, Mr. Inunog, ikaw sa yung mga manok yon yung dinala nila doon sa Manila? O
Opo, Your Honor.
sa'yo?
Opo.
Ikaw rin nagpipinance sa kanila?
Ang habol lang po namin, per win at saka yung premyo, Your Honor.
Okay. So dahil sa pandemic, hindi kagad aksyonan yung
Yun po yung ano namin noon, kaya yung sinasabi niyo, kami po ang first time na nagpaganyan, talaga pong inano na namin. Alam namin at risk to dahil hawak nila yung buhay ng anak namin. At risk din po kami hanggang ngayon.
Okay, thank you. Maraming salamat, Mrs. Bakay. Next, sinunod, ikaw, Ma'am Merlin Gomez. Sige po, ikaw po magsalita. Sabihin mo muna yung pangalan mo bago ka magsalita.
Ako po si Merlin Gomez. Anak ko po yung isa sa nawawala na si Roel Gomez po. Yung pong araw na pagkawala po niya ay bago pumunta ng sabungan po. Nagpaalam po sa akin na, ma, magsasabong ako para may pangdagdag sa bayaran sa ospital, sabi. Dahil po yung pangalawa kong anak ay nasugod po sa ospital. Maraming tumanggi sa amin na ospital. Diyan lang kami natanggap po dito sa may Metropolitan. Pero sobrang taas po na yung bill nila. Kaya ang sabi ko sa anak ko, huwag ka na lang pumunta. Kasi kasuhin mo na lang, baka madala sa promissory. Pero hindi po siya. Mapupunta ako dahil para may pangdagdag sa bill. Yun po ang sabi niya. At saka yun pong gabi na po yan, nung madaling araw, nagparamdam po sa akin na may iba ng nangyayari. Talagang kabadong-kabado po ako.
So, ma'am, pwede naman siyang magsugal online. Bakit sumama siya sa grupo ng nila ni Mr. Inunog, yung anak niya? Bakit sumama yung anak mo doon sa arena mismo? Anong papel niya? Anong trabaho niya?
Siya po yung taga-Tari po, Mr. Chairman.
Taga-Tari?
Opo, nag-aral po kasi sa
Kung sa English yan yung gaffer?
Opo.
Taga-Tari?
Hindi lang po sa arena siya nagtatari, ini-invite din po siya sa ibang
Kahit sa ibang sabungan. So kasama silang umalis galing doon sa Tanay Rizal? Isang
Hindi
grupo
po.
sila?
Taga Manila po yung...
Taga Manila? Tondo Manila?
Opo.
Okay, yun pala yung gaffer na taga Tondo Manila. So, maraming salamat po, ma'am. May sasabihin ka pa?
Nagpapasalamat po ako sa inyo, Mr. Chairman de la Rosa, dahil napunta itong usapin na ito dito sa inyo. Dito po ay pitpitan po ang inyong pag-iimbestiga para makamit na namin po yung katarungan na na siyang... Kasi mula nung nangyari po ito sa amin, hindi po naging normal ang buhay namin. Nandun po yung kaba, yung pagkatakot, yung pag-alala sa Ang mahal namin sa buhay, hindi naman kagaya po ng bagay na pwedeng mabili, mapalitan. Ito po buhay po ito.
Sige po ma'am, huwag po kayo mag-alala. Kaming lahat na membro ng komite nito, pati yung liderato namin sa Senado, ay may mga anak din na pwede maging biktima kapag hindi kami kikilos. Kaya hindi po namin bibitawan ng kaso na ito. Talagang didiinan namin ito. Itaga mo yan sa bato. Didiinan namin itong kaso na ito. Ha?
Maraming salamat po.
Salamat.
Kay Running President Panfilo Lacson. Sa lahat po rito, marami pong salamat po.
Mr. Chairman, just a question to General Pero. Nakuha mo na ba yung mga cellphone ng mga number ng mga anak nila?
Mr. Chair, lahat po yan ay palagi po namin kinukonsulta at lahat naman po ay nakuhaan na rin ng testimonya at yun po ay...
Hindi, yung mga cellphone ng mga anak nila, yung mga numbers.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Nakuha nyo na?
Yes, sir.
And did you coordinate already with the telcos para ma-trace kung nasan yung mga...
Yes, sir.
Nati-trace yun. Kung nagkamali yung tumangay doon na hindi pinatay, eh mati-trace ninyo ng mga oras na yun hanggang saan punta.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, sir, dahil sa may mga regulasyon na pinapatupad sa mga panahon na to, sir, medyo limitado, sir, yung ating technical support. But rest assured, sir, na ginagawa pa rin namin ng pamamaraan para possible ma-locate yun, sir.
Sige, please. Because also, pasok doon sa mga sumpina powers ninyo yan. Well,
yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Senator Joel, may tatanong ka?
Yeah, no, Mr. Chairman, actually, this is more of a, Mr. Chairman, I'm also a parent, and just by listening to the stories of our resource persons, talagang nakakadurog po ng puso. And that's why I just wanted to explore the idea, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, pag may bumagsak kunyari na isang Cessna plane, gina-grounded natin yung mga Cessna planes from flying eh. Pag may sunog sa building, hindi muna papapasukin, natitignan muna. We're talking about 31 missing individuals. Hindi natin alam kung naasan sila. But if you look at your phones, Mr. Chairman, sa GCash alone, tinitingnan ko dito today, ang total fights is 339 fights. 339 fights. So I'm just wondering, Mr. Chairman, if there is a possibility, for us to even just stop this for a while and let us all focus on this. 31 lives. Hindi po biro ito. I just want to put that on record. Baka may pwede tayong gawin right away, Mr. Chair.
Yes, I agree with you, Senator Joel Villanueva. This is really alarming. But just i-relay ko lang sa iyo yung tanong ni Senator Lacson, kung bakit daw alam mo kung ilang fights ngayon, nag-iisabong ka rin ba daw?
Nasa GCash po, nasa GCash. In 2 minutes, I tried registering. In 2 minutes, you get to be registered. Even if you are a government employee, even if you are a minor, this is really alarming, sir. Alam ko pareho kami ni Senator Ping Lacson na very concerned dito. Ilang beses na namin napag-usapan to sa plenaryo dyan sa Senado. It's just that it's so alarming that right now you are hearing stories, hindi kwentong barbero na inimbento o naririnig natin, nakikita natin. And yet, ito nga, isang araw lang, ngayon lang 339 fights ang schedule. Baka pwedeng patigilin muna and siguro pag sama-samahin natin ang ating pwersa ng Senado, ng Executive, ng PNP, ng PAGCOR, hanapin natin ito at tignan natin bakit nangyayari ito.
Yes, yeah. Meron pa, sir? I really agree with you, Senator Joel. Siguro.
Mr. Chair, pwede ba natin tanungin ang PAGCOR? For example, ang PAGCOR, hindi ho ba, Mr. Chairman, sa PAGCOR, pag may violation po, they close the licensee without question. Is that correct, Your Honor?
Well, PAGCOR, please answer.
Mr. Chair, yes po, we can suspend or cancel po the license of the licensee.
Without question, ma'am. For example, if you find out na there are minors betting, you close it right away. Is that correct?
That is provided po as a violation and therefore we can suspend or cancel the license, Your Honor.
So pwede pala, Mr. Chairman. Now, Mr. Chairman, again, nasa PAGCOR din, no? Two points na lang. If government employees, including police officers, are prohibited, they are prohibited from going to casinos. Are they prohibited from participating or betting sa e-sabong? Ma'am?
Yes po, Your Honor. We are in the process of developing po, including the e-sabong po in the national...
Can you answer my question? They are prohibited, ma'am?
Yes po, Your Honor.
Oh, so they're prohibited. But do you have the capacity to find out? As I mentioned earlier, it's so easy to say I'm not a government official. Pipindutin ko lang po dito sa telepono ko, makakataya na pala ako.
What we have provided po, Your Honor, in our regulatory framework are means po of identifying them by providing us government-issued identification cards, Your Honor. But we are constantly developing po our framework to address that concern, Your Honor.
Yes, you are doing something now, ma'am, but you agree with me also that at this point in time, wala ho. There's no way for you to check. There's no way for you to exercise that regulatory function of yours to ensure na hindi po sila nagbe-bet. Is that correct?
Our regulatory framework provides, Your Honor, that we be issued with the government-issued ID. And kapag po nakita po namin doon na sila po ay included dun sa mga taong prohibited to engage in e-sabong, then they should not be allowed access po to the platform, Your Honor.
But will you agree with me, ma'am, that you cannot do this right now? Because as I was saying, dito sa telepono ko, if I say I'm not a government official and I click, I'm a businessman, I'm not a government official, I can bet right away.
We admit, Your Honor, other development stage pa po ang aming regulatory framework, Your Honor.
Kaya nga po, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your answer. No? Kaya nga, Mr. Chairman, no? Hindi pa maayos yung sistema, hindi pa nadidevelop, but we are doing this, no? Can PNP actually ban PNP personnel from betting in e-sabong? Sabihin siguro ni PNP chief, yeah, pwede, i-ban natin. But they can actually do it? Can they actually implement it? Ang hirap po eh. So, one last, Mr. Chairman, no? In casinos and sabungans, yung mga relatives of those with gambling problems can actually complain. And they can actually, they will not be allowed in the casino and sabungans. Gusto ko lang malaman, ma'am, from PAGCOR, is there a similar system in place for e-sabong?
Your Honor, that is also included po dun sa mga pinopropose po naming amendments to our regulatory framework to provide po banning mechanisms for family members po of players who may develop gambling problems po.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I appreciate your answer. But the bottom line, Mr. Chair, lahat po ito wala. And so these things will continue to happen, will continue to haunt us, Mr. Chairman. And I don't know what else to say. But if I have the opportunity to say, i-close muna natin ito at tignan natin kung paano natin masisiguro na protektado ang ating mga kababayan. 31 lives ay hindi biro. Seryoso ito. So, yun lang po, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat for your patience. Thank you, dear colleagues.
Thank you, Mr. Senator Villanueva. Go ahead, Senator Lacson.
Also, the point raised by the Honorable Villanueva in regard to government employees participating in the betting, Andito ba yung Provincial Director ng Laguna, si Colonel Campo? Are you here? Kasi hinarrated to us, when we were in Laguna, yung kaso nung isang patrolman who was involved in a series of robbery hold-up yung sa 7-Eleven. Ang reason, nandito ba siya? Let's hear from him directly. Nag-CR. Anyway, as a preliminary narration, ang sabi niya, andyan ba siya? Okay. Please, we just want to hear it directly from you. Ikaw na magtuloy, yung patrolman na hinuli nyo, na na-involved sa series of robbery hold-up cases, ng 7-Eleven. Nakukuha niya mga 2,000, 3,000. And the reason being, kindly continue.
Sir, nung yung nahuli po namin na patrolman na involved sa robbery hold-up ng gasoline station sa Santo Tomas, Batangas, inamin din niya po na involved din siya. Siya din ang responsible doon sa series ng robbery incident sa 7-Eleven. Ngayon, sir, nung in-interview po namin, sir, sabi niya, inamin niya na lubog na po siya sa utang dahil dito sa online sabong. Talpak, sir, ang sinasabi. And yung magulang niya, na-settle na yung more than 1 million na utang niya dahil sa sabong. And then, yung after po noon, hindi pa din siya nadala. Tuloy-tuloy pa din siyang lulong sa online sabong. Nagkautang na naman siya sa pinsan niya. Nung sinisingil na siya, wala na siyang maibigay, wala siyang maibayad, lubog din sa loan. Kaya ang ginawa niya po, nag-resort na siya sa pang-hold up. Tinanong ko, sa investigation nga po kasi namin, sir, 2,000, 3,000 lang po ang na-hold up niya sa 7-Eleven. Talagang malaki ang pagsisisi niya. Nung tinanong namin, sir, nagsisisi po na talaga siya. Dahil lang pa sa pagkalulong niya sa online sabong.
So, you filed robbery cases against him. Nakapile na.
Actually po, na turnover namin sa Santo Tomas, Batangas for the inquest.
Yeah.
And then sa amin, sa Laguna, sir, na-file na po siya for regular filing. Yung separate cases sa robbery hold-up ng 7-Eleven sa Pagsanghan, Los Baños, and
Okay,
Alabino.
nakuha na namin yung essence ng istorya. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. We have si Miss Rosalie Cristorum. Ay, sir, tol. Go ahead, Senator Tolentino.
Quick follow-up to the manifestation of Senator Villanueva. Tama po siya. Yung sinasabi ko po noong araw na meron tayong mahigit 100 IRRs na overbroad at invalid. Ito po kakaiba. Ito pong ginagawa ng PAGCOR na regulatory framework has no basis in law. I have been reading for the last several hours, 9487. Your regulatory framework is similar to an implementing rules and regulation which is not anchored on Republic Act 9487. Kaya tama po yung kahilingan dito na kung pwede, itigil muna pansamantala habang iniimbestigahan lahat ito. Just a quick follow-up to the manifestation of Senator Villanueva. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Si Miss Sintol, the point that you raised and the point that was raised by Senator Villanueva will act on it after listening to the remaining family members of case number 1. The Senate President is telling me that they will act on it right away.
Chairman.
Okay, please, sino Miss Rosalie Cristorum or ikaw? Father Mark Joseph Velasco. Ikaw muna, sir.
Father po.
Yes. Go ahead.
Magandang umaga po sa buong buong ng Senate, sa committee chairman po ng si Senator Bato de la Rosa, kay Senate President po Soto. kay Senator Pampilo Lacson po. Sa lahat po ng nandito, magandang umaga po. Ako po si retired Master Sergeant Mario Velasco Jr. po. Ako po ang ama ni Mark Joseph Velasco na nawala po noong January 13, 2022 po sa Manila Arena. Nalaman ko po na na-hold po daw yung anak namin sa Manila Arena nung may tumawag po doon sa anak ko na bunso. Kaya po na-alarm ako na tinawagan po na na-hold po daw yung aking anak sa pati po yung mga kasama niya.
Klaruhin ko lang ha. Klaruhin ko. Yung anak mo na si Mark Joseph Velasco, tumawag sa kapatid niya, yung isang anak mo, informing him na hinold sila doon sa Manila Arena?
No, Your Honor, may tumawag po doon sa anak ko na concerned citizen po na inimpormahan po yung anak ko na bunso na sabi po na hold daw po yung anak ko at kasama po niya sa Manila Arena. Nung umigit ko mo lang po ng alas 7 ng gabi ng 13 January 2022.
Hindi nyo nakuha. Sinong pangalan? Anong pangalan nung nagtawag?
Hindi po. Tapos po, nung mga bandang mga around 7:30, sabi po daw, sa anak ko uli na bunso, naginising ako, pinauwi na po raw. Kaya po, hindi ko po pinansin yung call, yung tawag po. And then, nung after 10:30, or less 10:30 po ng January, dumating po sa bahay si Lieutenant Bakay, anak po, tatay po ni Marlon Bakay, na sinundo po niya ako, nasabi po niya pumunta tayo sa Manila Arena dahil may nangyari doon sa ating mga anak. At agad po kaming pumunta dito sa Manila Arena at dumating po kami ng humigit kumulang na 11:30 ng gabi at the same date. Subalit, nung pagdating po namin doon, pinuntahan namin yung mga gwardya, wala pong umiimik, wala po silang masabi. Lahat po, tikom ang mga bibig nila sa aming mga itinatanong. Kaya po, nung sumunod po noon, wala po kami magawa. Nagpunta po kami sa CIDG Manila para po i-report yung aming mga anak na nawala doon sa Manila Arena. At hanggang ngayon po, ay talaga umaasa po kami na makikita pa namin yung mga anak namin. Mahigit na pong 1 buwan. 1 month and 10 days na po ngayon. Na sana naman, nakikiusap kami sa sino man ang kumuha na sana maibalik ng buhay yung aming mga anak. Kasi masama po sa loob namin talaga. Sa isang magulang, hindi po kami mapakali. Hindi na po kami makapokus sa aming gawain. Kami pong buong pamilya. Kaya po, nagpapasalamat kami na nakarating po dito sa Senate ang usapin na sana po ay mabigyang kalutasan ito pong kaso na to. Kaya po kami hindi pa man po nagpapasalamat dahil hindi pa po tapos. Pero una po, nagpapasalamat na kami. Na sana po, mabigyan po ng solusyon yung aming pong problema.
Salamat, sir. Salamat, sir.
Chairman,
sir,
kakausap po kayo ni Mr. Inonog? Kakausap kayo?
Yes po.
Yung description mo sa gwardiya, pareho ng description niya?
Kasi po nung magkasama kami, nandun po sa Manila Arena, pinicturean po niya yung mga guards.
So yun din yung kausap ng gwardiya, yung din ang pagtanungan mo na sinabi mo.
Yes po, sila po. Yung naka-duty on guard doon po sa oras na yun.
Thank you, Mr. Velasco.
Thank you. Atty. Santos, balikan mo na kita. Ako
Yes, Your Honor.
Just curious. Kung ganun na mayroong mga parents na pumunta doon sa mga gwardiya ninyo sa Manila Arena para magtanong sa whereabouts ng kanilang anak na tumatawag sa kanila, hinahanap nila. Kung walang tinatago yung mga security guard doon, bakit hindi nila ma-accommodate properly or i-refer nila sa supervisor nila? What do you think? Ako'y naguguluhan. Bakit parang negative sila kagad? Ayaw nilang entertainin yung parents na naghanap ng mga anak. Paano ba?
Actually, Mr. Chairman, based from the statements of 2 security personnel that we gave with the CIDG, they confirmed that Mr. Inonog and Mr. Bakay confronted them But according to their statements, medyo combative po kasi yung dating. Medyo galit na po. So hindi na rin po nila alam ang gagawin. And they would not know how to appease them. Because according to them, hindi po nila alam yung sinasabing hinahanap po nilang mga anak nila. Yun po yung salaysay po ng 2 of our security guards that were given to CIDG.
Alam mo, kahit sino man siguro, kung tatay ka, maging combative ka talaga. Pag ang anak mo ay tumatawag sa'yo, maging combative talaga ang dating mo. At sana, na-manage nyo ng gusto kung walang tinatago yung mga gwardya, binanage sila ng gusto. Sir, relax ka lang at hanapin natin yung anak mo, ganito gawin natin. Role yan ninyo as management ng arena. Dapat ganun ang pag-entertain natin. But anyway,
Mr. Chairman,
you're raising your hand?
before, tama.
Before you, explain mo.
Guardia ka doon, security ka doon, may nangyari, may mga sinakay. Hindi mo alam. Hindi mo nakita. Wala ka nakita.
Yan.
Sobrang, ano tingin? Ano kala sa amin, mga tanga? Grabe. Mr. Dono, go ahead.
Please go ahead.
Thank you, Your Honor. Alam ko lang po kay Attorney Santos, hindi po ganun ang nangyari sa amin doon. Nung unang dating ko po ron, diretso ako sa basement, nakikiusap po ako sa mga security personnel na inabot ko po doon na dinatnan ko. Pero mataas po ang boses nila. Kaya, ang ginawa ko, binaba ko po yung face mask ko, inalis ko po yung face shield ko. Nagpakilala po ako sa kanya, pambihira kayo, magulang din kayo. Ama ko nung isang nawawala dyan. Pakiusap lang, pakihabol niyo mga kasama niyo na ibalik sila dito. Pag-usapan natin kung anong problema. Ganun po ang tema na nangyari sa akin, Attorney Santos. Thank you, Your Honor.
Salamat. Tapos ka na, sir? Okay ka na? Okay na po. Si Miss Rosalie Cristorom. Ma'am, tapos hindi ka pa nagsalita, di ba? Okay, please.
Ako po ang Cristorum. Mother po ni Ronel Cristorum.
Sige po, ma'am. Magsalita po. Inom ka muna ng tubig. May tubig dito. Inom muna. Napakahirap talaga. Pag anak mo mawala ako, I can't imagine anong gagawin ko. Hindi.
Kaya po siya nung January 13. Nalaman ko po, January 14 na po. Kasi po, nasa trabaho po ako, nag-stayin po. Pinuntahan po ako ng asawa ko. Pinalita niya po na yung anak daw po namin hindi na po nakauwi. Pero tinawagan ko pa siya po nung 13 ng gabi. Mga 6:20 po. Sabi ko na, ano kaya oras kayo uuwi? Sabi niya, Mama, maaga po kami kasi maaga po natapos. Mga 7 po, 8 po kami. Kasi sabi ko, pinapatanong ng papa mo kung ano oras kayo uuwi. Kasi po, isa lang po ang ano ko. Hirap na hirap kami. Yun lang po ang inasahan namin.
Ma'am, yung mga anak mo, ano trabaho nila? Yung anak mo? Ha?
Yun po, sa pitch. Sa pitch po, Mitrokyo.
Feeds? Taga-binta ng feeds? O taga-pakain ng manok?
Opo. Iba sa mga tindahan.
Sabi mo na?
Nagdi-deliver po sa mga tindahan po.
Nagdi-deliver ng feeds? So pumunta siya doon sa Manila Arena dahil
Niyaya po siya ni Ninong na James po. At yung kaibigan niya si Marlon Bacos.
niyaya siya, sumama doon. So, meron ka pa sabihin? Okay na tayo? Salamat, ma'am. Salamat.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
the magnitude of what has happened and what is transpiring in the light of this and the continuing investigation, I move that that the Committee on Public Order issue a resolution, to the PAGCOR to suspend all the licenses of the e-sabong operators until we find a acceptable conclusion to what is happening to these 31 missing personalities. I so move, Mr. Chairman.
So, there is a motion. Any second?
The possible amendment that perhaps the GCash operator remove temporarily from the GCash menu the e-sabong payment system. I so move likewise, Mr. Chairman.
Just to re-echo the motion of the Senate President, Mr. Chairman, he's referring to all 7 licensees, namely Belvedere, Vista Corporation, Lucky 8 Star, Quest Incorporated, Visayas Hackers Club Incorporated, Jade Entertainment and Gaming Technology Incorporated, Newin Hackers, Alliance Gaming Corporation, Philippine Cockfighting International Incorporated, and Golden Buzzer. Is that your motion, Mr. Senate President?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Precisely.
Any objection to the motion? There having none, the motion is carried by this committee. So, COMSEC, you prepare resolution, how do you term it, sir? As addressed to PAGCOR to stop the operation of
to suspend
the operation of e-sabong. So hanggat hindi mabigyan ng linaw itong nawawalang 31 missing persons. Thank you, sir. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir, will do, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.